So I will make some introductions of our other judges. To my far right is Judge Fisher. He is from County Courts. To his left is Judge Byrne, who is joining us from the 12th District Court of Appeals. To my immediate right is Judge Jeff Kirby from Domestic Relations. To my left is Judge Teep with also with the General Division. Then we have Judge Kirby, Probate Juvenile, and sitting in our honor spot in the witness box is Judge Bogan, soon to be former judge of the Lebanon Municipal Court. Judge Peeler could not be with us today. He texted me earlier. Many of you may not know, he is from down in the Mayfield, Kentucky area. He recently had a death in his family. He's been down there. He's on his way back. It's very close to his hometown down there. So certainly our prayers are with he and his family in a very difficult time. The robing of a new judge is a really joyous occasion for the Common Pleas Court, all of the courts. We do not have joint sessions, as I said, very often. Normally when there is more than one of us sitting up here, it is to consider somebody for death in a 3-judge panel. This is a much better occasion, obviously, as we welcome soon-to-be Judge Hubble into the Warren County Judicial Fold. It's been interesting to spend time with Judge Hubble and his wife in the sort of the run-up to this day over the past couple of years. We were planning for a campaign that fortunately did not have to happen. We have been answering questions for him in this transition period as he becomes the Lebanon Municipal Court judge. And it's sort of interesting when I think about the process of becoming something. Someone becomes a father, they become a husband, they become a felon, they become a homeowner. They become something which is by definition something that they are now, but were not before. This is true of a trial judge as well. I always think, to give you a seasonal pop culture reference, for those of you who have seen the Santa Claus, there's that part when Tim Allen is up at the North Pole for the first time. Everybody's calling him Santa. And he's, no, it's Scott Calvin. I keep saying Scott Calvin, but people continue to refer to him as Santa Claus. It's going to be the same with my good friend Marty. He is still Marty, but he is also now Mr. Hubble, Judge Hubble. Unfortunately, like becoming a spouse or a parent, there is no magic that comes over us, no knowledge that comes just with becoming a judge. If there is, then it's skipped over most of the judges here in Warren County. So, like a new bride or a new grandparent, you have to just take the experience that you have, draw upon your skill set, and see how you can translate that into your new job. Those of us who have been around for a while and have been doing this for a while know that a court takes on the personality of its judge. So if you look at my court, for example, I have all of the new technology, all the gizmos. The legendary Judge Flannery, his court always started on time. Judge Jeff Kirby, for example, he's taken out a lot of the adversarialness. His court is a calmer, sort of less fight over there. Judge Joe Kirby always has a fresh coat of paint on the walls. So the court sort of takes on the personality of the judge. Personally, I am very excited to see the personality that the Lebanon Municipal Court will take under Judge Hubble in the years to come. So at this point, we have the role of introducing our other elected officials and dignitaries. It is the terrible, for those of you come on in, we have some seats in the jury box, so cross over, come on in. We have seats to my right here. If you want to be socially distanced, you can be in the jury box. The recognition of elected officials and honored guests is the worst job that there is, because somebody always gets forgotten and then there's sort of that awkward moment that who else is left. So I will turn it over to our county recorder, for the job that nobody else wants. Thank you, Mrs. Otis, for introducing our elected officials.
I'd like to introduce Matt Dolan, our county auditor. Okay, and then Jonathan Sams, Trail Creek Township trustee. I was watching all you guys walk in, so if I missed somebody, please tell me. And then we have 2 retired judges here, Judge Kaufman, right there in front of me, and Judge Bronson walked in just now. Oh, that's a good place for you, Barb. Yeah, social distance and everything. That's right. Okay, and I also want to introduce some people in the community that are going to be very important to Judge Hubbell in his new position. First off, we have Chief Riley. Next to him is Chief McCutcheon. We have City Manager Scott Brunca. We have Megan Manuel from the Superintendent of the Board of DD. Angie Smith is here from the Lebanon Chamber. And we also have the President of Warren County Community Services with us today, Mr. Hubble.
Thank you. It's our tradition here in Warren County now, before the actual swearing in, that the judges will share perhaps some relatable story, hopefully some embarrassing to some extent. So we'll start with Judge Fisher on the far right.
Well, I won't do anything embarrassing. I've been able to practice in front of Magistrate Hubble, and I've been able to practice with Attorney Hubble. I know from your demeanor in both roles, as well as outside of the legal world, you have patience, which is what you are definitely going to need from the bench at this level. And you also have a demeanor that's just welcoming, which is also very helpful. It's disarming to defendants to be able to see a judge up there that, while they may not be able to relate to them, they understand that that person in the road can relate to them, which is very interesting. So I look forward to watching you do that.
I'm Matt Byrne. I'm on the 12th District Court of Appeals. I actually never practiced before now Judge Hubble as a magistrate, but really got to know him a little bit when I was on the campaign trail. His campaign was beginning. And I think, so on the professional side of things, though we haven't worked together professionally, I'll say I think we affirmed one of your opinions recently, so that's a good thing, right?
Very right to be affirmed.
But I know that Judge Hubble is a pillar of the community, involved in many ways, and that's really something that I think is critical for judges, to not just be behind the bench, but to be also out and about, involved in different community organizations, and knowing and meeting people. He does that, and I hope he continues. I know he'll continue to do that on the bench, and he'll be a great addition to the bench.
A way that anybody who sits as a judge or a magistrate can tell when somebody has what it takes to do this is when you watch them in trial. You know, the temptation, particularly with our society, with cable news shows and all of that, is to just come in swinging big. Well, in the courtroom, you've got to back up what it is you're swinging. And when you don't, you lose credibility. And so the best lawyers, you know, I tell people all the time, anybody can fight. A 5-year-old knows how to fight. It takes skill to be persuasive. And I think the best lawyers tailor what it is that they present, what it is that they say, in a way that is persuasive. And I've had the experience of working with Marty for the last 8 years as I've been with the Domestic Relations Court. And he's very good at what he does, but he doesn't come in swinging big and strike out. He's very persuasive that way. That's what makes for a good judge.
I too had the opportunity to practice a few cases in front of Magistrate Hubble. Had cases against him, had cases with him, had the opportunity to have him practice in front of me as a trial judge. As a trial attorney, it was always one of my favorite places to go was Lebanon Municipal Court under Judge Bogan. Just the way the atmosphere there was just always a great place to go. Marty, you have a great demeanor, you have a great personality. You'll do wonderful as a judge, and I know you'll continue on with a lot of the things that Judge Bogan did to make that courtroom just a great place for trial attorneys to go.
I thought today was a roast, so I'm trying to think of something good to say, and it's not coming. Except to say this, Marty, you have a good family name. Your uncle served the bench well at Lebanon. You're going to be handed a court that is a well-oiled machine by Judge Bogan. I've known you for a long time. Find you to be a great person, a great attorney, and you're going to be a great judge. Good luck.
Okay, well, I haven't been in this courtroom for a while, although I practiced law in this building and other common pleas court buildings for about 35 years before I was a judge. But it's very nice to be back here and to see the common pleas court judges, especially Judge Bronson. I haven't seen him for a while. But I thought it was a roast too, so I got to take all my notes and throw them away. That's easy to do. Marty's been my magistrate for, I don't know how long, Marty, a long time, over 10 years. And you know, I look at with detail every decision he writes, and then I have to sign off on them to see if I agree with him. I think he's done the right thing. And there's never been a case where I've turned aside his decision. I've always felt he's done the right thing. So the other thing is that while I'm extremely happy that he is the judge, one of the ethical requirements are, as a sitting judge, that you're not really able to participate in somebody else's campaign. So I wasn't able to be active in Marty's campaign, but I'm certainly his greatest fan. And now that we know that he's here and he's uncontested and he's going to be the judge, I couldn't be happier to congratulate him. So thank you.
You know, I think the first time that you and I met is when we used to play softball on Monday nights for the now defunct Warren County Bar Association softball team. Going around the infield, I think Judge Bronson, first base, Magistrate Demos at third base, left field, or was it Thornton played left field? You were out there. Teague was at shortstop for a while. So I miss those days, although I don't know with my knees that I can play softball anymore. Those days when you got to know somebody in an environment that was completely outside of any sort of courtroom experience. And I got to know Marty and his wife, who's just delightful, here over the years, and it's been really exciting. I can pay Marty two very high compliments that I had a case in my court that absolutely nobody wanted to be the defense attorney for. I appointed Marty to represent this person. He did a very good job. I also referred the widow of my very best friend in the world to Marty to say, take care of her, which he did in a very good fashion. So again, I just can't wait to see what the Lebanon Municipal Court holds. So at this time, we will do the actual swearing in. Judge Bogan will be doing the swearing in. While they sort of move to the gallery, I would be remiss in this moment if I did not take a moment to recognize Judge Bogan. He is our longest serving judge in Warren County. The title that he sort of passes over to me now. But upon his retirement, it's how long? 22, 23 years, something like that? That he has been here. So if you would, as he makes his way down to the gallery to swear in Judge Hubble, please stand and a round of applause for Judge Hubble.
We're going to go ahead and do the swearing in now. It's a good thing to do it early, a week or two ahead of time, because Marty's going to take the office at 1 o'clock in the morning on January 1st, and I don't think anybody wants to show up at that. So we do it ahead of time, so when he's ready to go on January 1, nothing more to do. So it's my honor. See, Megan is here, and you've got the family Bible with you? All right. I'm going to go ahead and administer the oath. Repeat after me. I, in your name,
I, Martin Earl Hubbell,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of Ohio,
and the Constitution of Ohio,
will administer justice with respect to people,
will administer justice with respect to people,
and will faithfully and impartially discharge
and will faithfully and impartially discharge
and perform all duties incumbent upon me as judge of the Lebanon Municipal Court.
as judge of the Lebanon Municipal Court.
It's my honor. Judge Hubble.
Bound by tradition, Judge Hubble, also to remind you as your wife places the robe on you that you need to thank her during the
And this may be the last time she stands up when he walks in the room.
Please be seated. Thank you. It is the honor of my lifetime to represent my family, my community, and the Warren County Bar Association as the Lebanon Municipal Court Judge. I also want to say a special thanks to my boss of 18 years, Judge Marty Hubbell. You have been a leader, a mentor, a friend, a resource. I personally want to thank you for your 22 years of service to our legal community, to my community, and for your stewardship of our court. I want to thank my wife. This is an awkward thing that we're doing here, and you are always there with me, and I appreciate you. My parents came from warm weather to cold weather. You've always been supportive. Thank you. My mother-in-law, Sarah Warrington. I married a girl whose both of her parents are lawyers. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's worked out great. It really has been wonderful. Our dear friends Mike and Susie Leonard, thank you so much for coming. The Odas, Linda and I have gotten to know each other so much in awkward circumstances with some nonprofit work, and you've been such a good friend to me. And Judge Oda, thank you for your advice before, during, and now, because it's been invaluable. And we're not done, so I appreciate all that you've done. The Lebanon Court staff, the Lebanon Police Department, my personal staff, all of my colleagues, Magistrate Greg, Dave Ernst, Kelly McCoy, the three people that I've worked with, Judge Kaufman, former judge of the Lebanon Court, and my contemporaries, which were kind of sitting right here, with Rob, Matt, and then Renee, who I think snuck out. I started my legal career, in a sense, as a runner for the firm of Young and Hubble when I was 16 years old. And I would run documents all around town. And that firm consisted of my uncle Fred Hubble and his partners Marvin Young and Warren Young. And Warren was an interesting fellow. If you walk out this door and you go around the corner, his portrait will be up on the wall. He was our first common pleas judge. And at one time, he sat at every level of the judiciary for the Ohio court system. And he had retired when I started working, but I changed his pocket cards for probably 15 years of my life. Not many people know what those are anymore, but he was just a gentleman of gentlemen. And we all of us have mentors in life. We all have multiple mentors. To say that my Uncle Fred was a mentor to me would be an understatement. And I'll tell you that the significance is not lost on me that my Uncle Fred was sworn in this courtroom next week 27 years ago by Judge Warren Young, and that means something to me. Warren County has been a great place to practice law long before I became a lawyer, and I pledge to do all that I can to keep that reputation in place. That was started by the folks on the other side of that wall, this gentleman here, and these great judges behind me. And it's something that I take incredibly seriously. And I intend to do so in the manner that is reflective of our community's values. Thank you all for taking time out of your day. It really means the world to me, Megan. Thank you.
I'll turn it over to Chris Johnson, CEO of the Countryside Y, who will provide us with our benediction.
Thank you. So it's always an honor to be asked to pray at an event or at a gathering. It's even more of an honor when it's someone I call a friend asks me to do so. So thank you for that. Just before I pray, Proverbs 2:6 says, "For the Lord gives wisdom. From his mouth came knowledge and understanding." So let me pray. Father, I pray this prayer over Marty, that you would provide wisdom for him in this role that he has been prepared for, that you have been preparing him for many days. We just thank you for the fulfillment of that in this place, and that you will continue to walk with him and provide wisdom in the day-to-day and the decisions that are brought before him. I lift up his courtroom, and I just pray even for the safety and protection of that courtroom, that it be a place of healing and truth would win out. Father, I thank you for all of these who have come to support Marty, all of those who have supported him over the years. I just pray that in this moment they each recognize the appreciation and the significance that they have played in this day and coming to this point. Father, I thank you for Marty and Megan. I just lift them up to you. I pray over them, Marty's courtroom, and all that come before. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Marty and I sat down shortly after the election, and it was all sort of official that he was the incoming judge. And when we started talking about this ceremony, he said one thing: keep it short. So true to that, that concludes this session. There are not any refreshments in the lobby at Judge Hubbell's request, because the one thing he said is, look, no deputy is going to stay late because we're going to stand around drinking punch and eating cookies in the lobby. So I'm sure that the court services people appreciate that, especially at the holidays. So I want to thank you all for being here, and Merry Christmas. We're adjourned.
Please rise. Court's adjourned.